Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting. I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here. And today I want to talk to you about how to make affirmations easier for you. So, yesterday we talked about when not to use robotic affirmations, specifically robotic affirmations, when it gives you that really sort of anxious feeling or like it's making the manifesting, the focusing work more stressful in your body. So, if you're having that response, let's talk about how to deal with that response so that you can return to using robotic affirmations if you want to, but you can also affirm in other ways. And we'll talk through that today. So, you're at this point where you've noticed when I do these affirmations, I'm having a response in my body that feels like anxiety, that feels like tightness in my chest, that feels like my brain going, nope, 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 whatever it is. Like some sort of response in your body that just doesn't feel good and it feels kind of awful. Now, remember, I said, like, you might pass through this momentary cringe feeling. That's how I describe it for myself, and your feeling might be a little different when you first start, but that dissipates relatively quickly, like 4, 5, 6 affirmations in, and it could pop back up, and like occasionally, but again, it dissipates quickly when you take a deep breath and keep going. That's not what I'm talking about. Like if you have that, you can still use robotic affirmations. You're not trying to resolve anything in your inside of yourself. What I'm talking about is if it's consistently making you feel further away from your manifestation, just having a lot of anxiety, just a really bad feeling in your body while you're doing the focusing work. That's really key. Sometimes when we're talking to ourselves about our manifestation and we don't have it yet, we can have that bad feeling again. Only it's because we're telling ourselves the story of not having what we want, and that doesn't feel good. So that's a little bit different. What I'm talking about is when you're doing affirmations and you don't believe them to such a degree that your body is fighting against you. That's okay. We can still get where we want to go from there, but it's better to go ahead and resolve that in your body than to just fight through it for a really long time. So you don't have to believe your affirmations to do an affirmation. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. However, if your body is fighting against you, you want to resolve that feeling in your body, you still don't have to believe it. You just want to feel more neutral in your body when you're saying the affirmation. You don't want like a fight response inside of yourself. So this is the way I do it. I notice it. I take a few deep breaths. I calm myself down. And I say, okay, it's clear that I'm really fighting against this. Like my body. This is what I really want. I really want a committed, happy, romantic relationship with my specific person. I really, really want that. I acknowledge what I really want. I get clarity. And sometimes I find out that the reason that this affirmation isn't feeling good is that's not exactly what I want. I'm either selling myself short by trying to manifest something less than what I want because for some reason, in that moment, thought that that would be an easier thing to manifest than the thing that I really wanted. So if that's the case, I do a little bit more clarity work. I do a little bit more work of digging in myself about let's clarify what it is we want and see if we can come up with a better affirmation. If I do have the right affirmation, this is exactly what I want. This affirmation really resonates with me as what I want. I just believe so strongly that I can't have it, that my body is fighting against me and telling me that. And I need to figure out a way to resolve that. So starting with the deep breaths, I've noticed I'm good. I'm clear. This is what I want. I don't believe I can have this. I don't have to believe that I will have it, but I do have to believe that it's possible I could have it in this lifetime. So do you hear the subtle difference in that? You don't have to believe that you will 100% absolutely manifest this thing to get past this point, but you do have to believe that it's possible for you to have this. So if you don't believe that it's possible, I'm going to ask you to look in your 3D reality, maybe, or even in your subconscious mind, look somewhere for some sort of proof that it's possible for you to have it. Now, what I use in this case is I use someone else has gotten this thing before. If anyone on the earth has the thing that I want, if it's possible for them, then it's possible for me. And that really works for me. If that doesn't work for you, you can think of other times that you've manifested something. You can think that something like, so like, let's say the example of no one else on the earth has ever manifested exactly what you want. You could think, well, new things happen all the time. New experiences. People on the earth are the first person to do or have or be a thing all of the time, every single day. And I can be that person too. I can be that person too. So you find a way to believe that it is possible for you. Now, you still don't have to believe with any sort of certainty that it will happen. Right? And you kind of sit with that feeling of possibility. Sit with the possibility of like, this is possible. Now, if it's helpful to you, you can even explore how it could come about. The how is not our job, and the how is not where you want to put most of your focus. But if at this stage, when you're trying to resolve this feeling of anxiety or stress or whatever it is in your body that's preventing you from doing affirmations, then go ahead and explore, like, it could happen this way. It could happen this way. This is how I would really like for it to happen. You don't stay there, but you explore it. And then so you use the good feelings that you've gathered from figuring out that it is possible for you, figuring out there's definitely ways of how this could happen. And then go ahead and try to return to your affirmation. When you return to your affirmation, just see how it makes you feel. Now go ahead and give it a few minutes, right? Like you might have to pass through that cringe feeling like I've talked about. But like I said, it'll resolve quickly. If it's still not working for you, return back, do those steps I just said again, and then just sit with yourself in silence and see if anything comes to mind about what could resolve that for you. And we'll continue talking about this tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. May you manifest exactly what you want.